Well, last episode was my wife's idea. It was in the, I think, fifth year of the show, I think, fifth or sixth. And they were moving us around. The CBS was moving us around, all different, at 8:30, then they had us at 9:30, then they had us behind Murphy Brown, then they had us in front of Murphy. And so I was getting a little upset because we had taken what was not a hit time slot, and we had made it a hit time slot. So I felt they were being kind of unfair to us, which really isn't true because they tend to take the younger shows and try to boost them. So we were at a Christmas party, and Susie was there, and Jenny and I were waiting in line to meet whoever it was, and I said, honey, I think this is going to be the last year of the show. This is sixth year. And I explained why. And she said, well, if this is the last, you ought to make it a dream sequence, because that the whole year of Dallas was a dream sequence, and St. Elsewhere ended in a dream sequence. And she said, you ought to wake up in bed with Susie and describe this dream, this nightmare you had about owning an inn in Vermont. And I said, oh, what a great idea, what a sensational idea. So I agreed then to go on 2 more years. So it's in the 8th year. Now I've definitely decided that I'm having some trouble with MTM. And I decided that this is the last year. So I go to the writers. I gave them Jenny's idea for the end of the show. And they fleshed it out with the Japanese buying the town. And we actually, that scene never appeared in a script because we knew that the tabloids would get a hold of it and would say final episode of Newhart, or final episode, because they do it all the time, final episode of something. So we put a scene in there where I get hit in the head with a golf ball. I go up to heaven, I have this conversation with God, which we never intended to shoot. I told the writers knew, of course, because they had to write it. I told the cast that morning. We rehearsed all day. Final day, the crew went to dinner, and they came back, and we said, we've added a scene. So the camera A goes here, B goes here, C goes there, and just, there's your shot, and there's your shot. And just when we pull the floater, which hides the set from the audience, just start your cameras and just keep, no matter what happens, just keep going. So we brought Susie in from 2 sound stages over and snuck her in. And we put the floater in there. And they pulled the floater away. And the audience recognizes the bedroom set. And they started applauding. They started applauding. Even before they saw Susie or myself, they started applauding. They recognized the bedroom set. And we were apprehensive. We didn't know how it would be received, because St. Elsewhere was received negatively, because people were saying, we devoted all our time to this show and cared about these people, and now you're telling us a dream, but then when we got the audience reaction, we said, that's it. No, that's it. Got to go with that. And
when it was the last year, the producers called me one day and they said, we're calling about, I said, I know what you're calling about. They said, you do? I said, it's all a dream. So I said, are they really going to let you do this? They said, yeah. So we had a code name when I would call them back so it wouldn't be me. They wrote a fake ending where Bob is up to heaven and is with God. And the cast was trying to guess who was going to play God. Oh, is it going to be Rickles or, They built the set in secret. The only one who knew was Dick Martin, because he was directing. And, of course, people who built the set were figuring something out. They did not tell the cast until 20 minutes before we did it. And they hid me in a trailer for 6 hours with no phone. You don't do that to a woman like me. No shopping, no phone. What, are you kidding? And we were so nervous because we couldn't rehearse. And I said, Jesus, Bob, if that light fixture isn't where it was in, 19, whatever the last year was, 70, whatever, 8, I said, I'm going to be wham banging on the wall till the lights come down. And just before we were in bed, they put a coat over it. They came in. And Bob and I were holding hands, and he said, "Wait for the laugh." And I said, "What if there isn't one?" You know, and with that, I was under the covers, and the screen went back, and the audience saw the sheets. And they went, and then he said whatever he says, and I go, well, who's going to have a voice in this octave except me? And they went, and then, of course, when I sat up, it was screaming, 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 screaming. And I knew it was a piece of television history. He knew it, we knew it. We were nervous, but I mean, we knew.
Honey. Honey, wake up. You won't believe the dream I just had. What? But don't you want to hear about it?
All right, Bob. What is it?
I was an innkeeper in this crazy little town in Vermont.
I'm happy for you. Good night.
Nothing made sense in this place. I mean, the maid was an heiress. Her husband talked in alliteration. The handyman kept missing the point of things. And then there were these 3 woodsmen, but only one of them talked.
That settles it. No more Japanese food before you go to bed.
And I was married to this beautiful blonde.
Go back to sleep, Bob.
Good night, Ellen.
What do you mean, beautiful blonde?
Go to sleep, Emily. You know, you really should wear more sweaters.